Good morning. This is actually a part two of a show that I did yesterday about anti-smokers and the anti-smoking movement that has taken over our country, even outdoors. It's based on a show I did last Friday. The shows that I'm talking about air on live Facebook Live on my Facebook page, Paula Kling, Kling, Luciano. And this show, I'm going to repeat some of the stuff because the show was really good. It got a lot of attention. And the one thing we talked about on yesterday's show is the people that are non-smokers. Are they health nuts or are they control freaks? And I mean no disparaging remark by that. The bottom line is it's my show. I get to name it what I want because I'm a control freak. But we do have to ask ourselves when non-smokers complain about people who even smoke outside. You know, they kicked us out of the bars, out of the restaurants, in some cases out of our workplaces. People are getting fired even if they smoke on their own time. And that wasn't enough. Now they want to kick us to the curb. And I'm talking about outdoor decks, beaches, parks, boardwalks, all of whom have now, in many states have established these non-smoking bans, that you cannot smoke on a public beach, in a public park, on a boardwalk, and in some cases on a deck, on outdoor alfresco seating in a restaurant or a bar. And that to me says this is about a lot more than just smoking, because if we're talking about a Clean Air Act, there is no such thing as clean air. And I can prove it, and I have proven it with an air conditioner, a window air conditioner that my husband and I had, and after 1 year in our window facing the street, it was not working properly. Water was coming into the bedroom, and we do not, I'm the smoker, my husband is not, but I do not smoke upstairs, and there is no way that where I smoke in my house that the smoke could have miraculously gone up the stairs, down the hallway, into the bedroom, and into the air conditioner. So what happened was my husband pulled the air conditioner out, and the part of the air conditioner that faced the street, and we live on a very busy street where we're on a bus route, buses and trucks and cars drive by constantly, all hours of the day and night. This air conditioner was covered in black, filthy, heavy soot. And it wasn't from smoking cigarettes, and it wasn't from somebody walking past the house smoking a cigarette. It was from the exhaust from all of the traffic. So if anybody here believes that by banning smokers from smoking on a beach or smoking on a deck or smoking anywhere outdoors is going to make the air clean somehow, you are really fooling yourself. Really fooling yourself. Just by walking outside. If you think you are allergic, and we're going to talk about that, to cigarette smoke, walking down a city street could probably kill you, because there are much more fumes. Go to a barbecue and ever see that blackened chicken, that really good chicken with that black crust on it? Well, studies have shown that eating that chicken is equal to actually smoking a pack of cigarettes in one piece of blackened chicken. And I don't see anybody screaming to ban barbecues or blackened food or charcoal. Cast iron skillets, if you have a pet bird, a cast iron skillet, some of them with the coating, if you cook food and you have a pet bird, that bird could die. And that's a product we use to cook our food. If it'll kill the bird just because the bird can smell the stuff coming off the cast iron skillet, what do you think eating the food, not cast iron, I'm sorry, the non-stick skillet, what do you think eating the food that comes off of that non-stick skillet will do to you? We're going to ban non-stick skillets? There was a rumor that drinking milk causes breast cancer. I didn't see anybody banning milk. 80% of breast cancer victims reported that they drink milk on a regular basis, so milk must be causing breast cancer. It doesn't. Don't worry. So get your calcium, keep your good teeth. It's all good. Milk does not cause breast cancer. But there are people in this country who truly believe, and I'm not disparaging them either, that they are allergic to cigarette smoke. However, there are some studies that say that a true allergy, an allergy that is dangerous, is caused by protein. Protein in plants, protein in certain foods. And there is no protein in cigarettes. Now, in nicotine, there is a protein, because tobacco is a plant. But once it is burned, the proteins burn away. So the smoke itself should not cause an allergic reaction. And I've always said I'm allergic to cut grass, but now what I actually believe, because I don't need an EpiPen, and I'm not on any medication for allergies, I don't get shots. When I smell cut grass, I become uncomfortable. My nose gets stuffed up. I sneeze. Same thing with perfume. I am not actually allergic to these things. They just set off my sinuses. And 2 Benadryl, 20 minutes, I'm fine. And I think that's what's happening in some cases when people say I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. But being uncomfortable and actually dying are two very different things. And I can't tell my neighbor not to cut his grass because it makes me uncomfortable. And non-smokers, because when they get a whiff of cigarette smoke, they might get a little uncomfortable, have now decided that they can control every restaurant, every bar, and now beaches, outdoor decks, outdoor places, so that they will never be uncomfortable. And I would like to ask any of you watching this video to please, if you have proof that there is anything in the Bill of Rights or our Constitution that states that you have a right to be comfortable 100% of the time, that you have a right to go anywhere and any place and be comfortable, let me know about that. I don't think it's in there. It's really not. It's not in there. Don't waste your time. I've looked. It's not there. We do not have the right to be comfortable everywhere we go. To have other people, especially businesses, cater to us to the point where they throw their other business clients out. And I have a good example. There is a real serious allergy, and it's called a shellfish allergy, and millions of people have it. Millions of people. And it's deadly. It can kill you. It's called anaphylactic shock. Your throat closes up. And there are some people that have this allergy so badly that they actually cannot be in a place that cooks shellfish. They cannot sit next to someone who is eating shellfish. If you kiss someone with a shellfish allergy after eating a shrimp or a lobster, they could die. Or they will have to use their EpiPen and get to the hospital as soon as possible. Now, this is where I'm going with this. Imagine somebody calling Red Lobster on a Monday, because being allergic to shellfish doesn't mean you can't eat fish. They can eat salmon, they can eat other types of fish, just not the shellfish, the stuff in Leviticus in the Bible. You know. Imagine calling Red Lobster and on a Monday and saying, I'm bringing 50 people into your restaurant on Friday, and we want because we love your salmon. The problem is we're all allergic to shellfish, so for the entire next week, you cannot cook lobster, shrimp, or crab at Red Lobster. And you need to clean up your kitchen and clean everything out, because if we even smell shellfish, we're gonna die. We could die. So we'll be there Friday, and you take care of this. So you cannot serve lobster, shrimp, or crab for the rest of the week, because we're allergic. We have the right to come in there and have our salmon. What do you think Red Lobster would say? Yeah, I know what they would say. They'd say, go fuck yourself. They would say, you go to the grocery store, you buy some salmon, you take it to your house, and you cook it. We're not going to throw out the majority of our customers because you can't be in a place that cooks and serves shellfish, because you could die. Now, I don't know anybody who has walked into or walked past. Let's go outside. I'm not even trying to get back inside as a smoker, because I know that's probably not going to happen. But I'm talking about outside now. Seriously, I would like, again, anybody, I'm offering a challenge here. If you know somebody who seriously, and you can prove it in writing, prove it. I want hospital bills. I want hospital records. I want a death certificate. If you can prove that somebody dropped dead from either sitting on an outdoor alfresco cafe and eating dinner, and somebody on that deck was smoking, or walked past somebody smoking on a beach, or sat on a beach where somebody was smoking, and they dropped dead, and the coroner said they dropped dead because they took a whiff of secondhand smoke that drifted down the beach or drifted up in the air and settled in their nose. If you can prove that, please tell me, but I don't think you can, because it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. People, even with certain other types of allergies, walk into a smoky bar, they don't drop dead. And once again, this is control. If you know you are allergic to shellfish, you probably don't go to Red Lobster. And if you know you are allergic to cigarette smoke and you go into a restaurant and you say, well, we were thinking about eating outside tonight, but oh, there's a lot of smokers out there, well, then you can eat inside because in there is that's your turf. Why do you gotta stamp on mine? You know, outdoors is where people are now kicked to the curb who smoke. We're kicked outside. We're into public. Now they want to kick us out of public. And it's not right. There is just no compromise. It's the non-smoker's way or the highway, or you stay home. And when the smoking bans came out, a lot of us did say, you know what? Screw this. We're not going out anymore. We're not going to pay people to discriminate against us. But that's not realistic. You know, you get invited to business dinners. You get invited out to eat by your parents or your grandparents or whatever. So I've learned that I can go an hour and a half without a cigarette. I don't like it because when I'm having a cocktail or in between courses, I like to have a cigarette, but I can do that. What I cannot do is hang out anymore. I can't hang out and play darts like I used to, or play pool, or do anything indoors for a long period of time, especially in the winter. It's just not worth it. It's not worth my discomfort, because then I'm uncomfortable. I used to go to dart tournaments all over the East Coast. It was really fun. I was actually nationally ranked for 2.5 seconds. And they were so much fun. And I'll tell you, dart shooters smoke. And they like to smoke when they're shooting darts. And all of a sudden, very first dart tournament was in 2006 that I went to that was non-smoking. And it was chaos. Utter chaos. You had 100 people out in the garage where we could smoke, sneaking their cocktails out of the ballroom of the hotel because you couldn't take your drinks out with you, and we were sneaking the booze out. They had loudspeakers set up. You could barely hear, announcing when it was your turn to shoot your match, and it was a match for money. This was for money. It was important. And it was just a fiasco. And it was ridiculous, and I never went to another dart tournament again. It wasn't worth it, because it cost me money. And then, of course, now some of the hotels have gone non-smoking, so you can't even smoke in your hotel room. And so I don't do it. I gave it up. Something I love to do, I gave it up. Because these dart tournaments, they go all day long. And you don't never know when your match is going to be called, and you have to be ready. You have to be there. You can't just walk away. And it just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth hanging out in a parking garage for 10 hours over a weekend, over a long weekend. It's very uncomfortable. But see, it's okay for me to be uncomfortable because I'm an evil, evil, awful smoker. I can walk into any park. We know people have peanut allergies. I can walk into a public park and open a jar of Skippy peanut butter and sit and eat it all day long. But I can't light a legal cigarette because a child might see me and think it's cool. Now, you see all these commercials on TV, right? I smoke, I have a hole in my throat, and this is what's going to happen to you. So why would kids think that I'm cool? And why should I care? I'm not a role model. I don't have role model tattooed on me anywhere. I worked my whole life to be individual, to be like me. I don't want anybody to be like me. I am me. So I'm nobody's role model, and I don't want to be. But the fact that they don't want us smoking in a park because a child might see us and think we're cool. That kind of makes me think they're admitting that smoking is cool. I'll tell you, I know a dart shooter, I know a couple actually, who can actually hold a beer, smoke a cigarette, and throw a dart all at the same time. Now that's cool. That's fucking cool, man. Ay. Look, all I want is a compromise. I don't believe that, in at least where I live, that we're ever going to be invited back inside to the comfort of the indoor restaurant or bar. But when we're talking about outdoors, when we're talking about beaches and boardwalks and city streets like in New York City, you can defecate on the streets of New York City and probably barely get a glance, but you can't light a legal cigarette because of that Clean Air Act. And after 9/11, let me tell you what, after 9/11/01, there is definitely no clean air in New York City because Lower Manhattan is a graveyard. And it's an asbestos and fluorescent light graveyard as well. But they just basically told all the tourists, we don't want you here. You can't smoke in the hotel rooms, you can't smoke in the restaurants, and now you can't smoke in Times Square. Guess they don't want my money. And they're not going to get it. So, health nuts or control freaks? Well, it could be both. But I think it's more about the fact that non-smokers believe that they should be able to go anywhere at any time and be comfortable. And they also believe that the smokers are the ones that should change. That we should have nowhere to go except our own homes, as long as we don't have a landlord and we rent and the landlord says you can't smoke in the house, or a nursing home where they say you can't smoke in the nursing home even though you're 90 years old, you're probably going to be dead anyway. Don't think smoking's going to kill you. But the non-smokers basically like the smoking taxes they get, like the ones that pay for the CHIP program where parents who can't afford to insure their children with health care, the smoking taxes, they like taking our money. They love that. They just don't want to see us using our legal product in public. They want us to disappear, go into the shadows. Please keep smoking. Please do. Even the government, please kill yourselves. We can't afford to pay your Social Security and Medicare anyway. We'd love for you to die before you actually collect that or ask to collect it. So we don't have to give you the bad news that it's really not there. Everything you've paid in for the last 50 years. So make no mistake about it. Nobody gives a shit about my health. And I'm not so sure that somebody who goes into an all-you-can-eat wing place and downs 4 orders of buffalo wings cares about their health all that much either. But they sure as hell want to be comfortable. And they sure as hell want to tell me what to do. But you know what? I talk with my money. And so I learned to cook for myself. I go to a restaurant, I check out the menu, and I check out what I'm eating, and I deconstruct it, and I figure out how to make it myself in my own home, where I can smoke indoors, where it's nice and warm and cozy, or in a heat wave, it's nice and chilly with air conditioning, and I don't have to tip anybody, and I don't have to pay $12 for this much wine, or $30 for this much food. I do it my way. But it would be nice once in a while to actually go out and have a really nice meal. And a nice meal for a smoker includes smoking while sitting down at the table, enjoying the conversation, not getting up and missing part of the conversation. And the only place you can really do that is on al fresco, on outdoor eating. But many places now, some places are actually making laws about that, that if there is food being served, you can't smoke. And it's not government law, it's the restaurant owner's law. It's their rules. And I find that disappointing. It's their business. They have every right to do it. But then I have the right to not spend my money there anymore. And that breaks my heart. It really does. Because I like some of these restaurants a lot. But I also feel very strongly that discrimination, the discrimination against smokers has gone so well that I'm starting to be fearful of what's the next group of people they're going to pick. So if you're a non-smoker and you're watching this and you're saying, oh, she's full of shit, she should just quit, she's going to die. Think about yourself and something you really like to do. Because the non-smoking thing went so well. And now the smokers are being controlled. What are they going to go for next? Think about something you like to do. Perhaps alcohol? Perhaps you're a gay person who wants to order a wedding cake? Think about something that's important to you and then ask yourself how you would feel if, while the majority of people don't want you out on the curb, a small minority is so loud that they have made it that you are basically vilified, kicked to the curb, and not wanted anywhere. Anywhere. You can be fired from your job for smoking in your own home. What's next, guys? Think about it. That's what scares me the most. We will continue to smoke. I will continue to smoke. I have no plans on quitting. And I will continue to smoke where I want to. Outdoors. You better believe it. You know, I have a little slush fund. Outdoor Smoking Fine Fund. I'm outdoors, I'm going to smoke. And I will not go to outdoor restaurants that say you can't smoke during dinner hour. Because I think, again, it's ridiculous to assume there is clean air anywhere. So, hey, that's the show for today. And remember, if you guys want to see my daily show, 10 a.m. weekdays, there will be no show today, live show, but I am live on Facebook. Please friend me, and when you friend me, please mention my YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel because it's free and always will be. And I would love to get a bunch of subscribers on YouTube because it's really fun. And it's really great to record these shows and then be able to share them everywhere. I cannot share the Facebook shows on YouTube. So, I'll see you out there. Don't forget me on Facebook. I am also on Twitter at Political Paula. And you can follow me on Twitter as well. So, have a good day, everybody. Stay informed. Be kind to one another. And remember that love shows and grows. Political Paula for now, out.